Hello, everyone. Welcome to Mystic Moons. How are you doing today? How's your life going? Well, we're going to have a little time to ourselves, you and I. We're going to find out just what is in the ether around us, in store for us, and because of us. You can sometimes think that what do you or I matter because we're little people, as we're often referred to as being little people, regardless of our height or size or weight, what we've done. But in the scope of things, yes, we're one of the many. And that's not too bad to be one of the many voices, one of the many hearts, heartbeats, thoughts, vibrations, frequencies. So today, we're going to do something different. We're alive. We're alive and we're here for you and you and you. To think about things. And you often think that we're disconnected, and maybe we are disconnected. But this is the time now we have to seriously think about just how we want to be connected to one another. Okay, he's my lover, she's my lover, this is my friend, we work together, we're co-workers, this is my boss, this is my employee, this is that. We take the bus together, we stop at the same traffic light at the same time. All these relationships we have. Sometimes when you're driving, down the highway and the traffic is slow, you can look to the left or to the right, and you can see somebody doing the same routine, going to work or going shopping. And when you start to see that person over and over again, what happens? A relationship is happening. And you could think, and you start to have like, well, I wonder, that person seems nice. Right, that person seems nice. But do we actually ever know what is going on in your lover, your friend, or it's just some casual acquaintance you see at the supermarket, at the farmer's market, which is happening soon because now it's spring. And up here in the mountains in the Northeast, the heavy toll of winter has passed. Of course, we could have spring snow too. You know, up when you're high up in the mountains, the weather is different. Different. There's no actually clear delineation between certain things like fog, smog. Like even out here in the pastoral lands of so-called Mountainville, Mountainville. There probably is a place called Mountainville. There is probably. Just like there's a place called Downers. Can you imagine living in a town called Downer? I live in Downersville. But it exists. It exists. Everything exists. Which is very strange about when you think about where you and you and you, where you, how are you a part of all of this? And how does it affect you? Sometimes it's so overwhelming when you think of responsibilities. Like, do I have to smile at this person? Can I frown? I gotta blow my nose, but maybe when I blow my nose, it really sounds like a honking, honk honk. So I can't blow my nose here. Or where's my tissue? Or all these things. I mean, every single little thing when you're out and about with other people, especially in Western culture. In Western culture, we are always looking for approval. We're looking in each other's eyes. We really catch each other's glance. You know what I mean? In Asian culture, Eastern culture, you don't look, you don't lock those. In certain Asian cultures, not everyone. You don't take that somebody's straight glance. You look away. You talk to their nose, you talk to the cheek, you talk to their ears, even when you interact in the supermarket in certain places. Like the Middle East, for instance. In certain, You don't really look, you don't give that fresh, direct gaze. And then even from different countries, like in Korea, you have like the man is a sex object. I like that. That's and someplace like the United States, the woman is a sex object. And they go over and over and over and over and over again. So it all depends, all these nuances, but you get what I mean. You get the story. All these people can and cannot, or may not, have an influence on your day. On your day. So when you go and see your special lover, your special friends, or your coworkers, you're carrying a lot of baggage, things, trips. And it's so hard in this day and age to know what is real. Because even once you know, your brain tells you that is that. Somebody else is telling you, no, that's not that, it's this. Even though, somebody can be a swifter talker, somebody you feel that they should know more than I know, which is irrelevant. Because if your frequency is aligned up where it should be, there is no one to tell you anything because it's a consensus of like frequencies. And you go, why are you talking in frequencies? Frequencies. Well, lightning, there's light bulbs, right? We all know there's light bulbs, 40 watts, 10 watts, 8 watts. There's LED, there's all types of lights. And there's also lightning, right? Of which is a streak in the sky, and it's impossible to really, really gauge at the time that it's happening. Maybe if you record it, you can, of course, get better statistics on it. But the thing that we're trying to say, not everything is predictable and measurable. And in society, they're trying to tell you and me and everybody else that don't listen to your matter of fact senses. Listen to what I tell you it is. It becomes kind of suffocating in certain. They give it names in certain cultures. They call it, fascism. They call it socialism. They call it capital. They give it all sorts of fancy names. But the point is, people interact with each other. They smell each other. They hear each other. Random touching each other. Random, which means you bump shoulders to shoulders. And other intimacies, touching requires permission. And there's some cultures that go, I don't care what you think. And there's other cultures that, Madame, Sir, let me please welcome you with your set of boundaries to our company. Right? In other words, other people are going, move on. So all these type of things go into our relationships, right? Our relationships. And just where do you fit? You don't even know. Maybe somebody did something really fantastic and made you smile all day long. You've seen that, right? Somebody they just had the most beautiful aura. And other people, the opposite. The opposite. They have fancy names for these things. Kindred spirits, narcissists, things like that. All types of things. All types of things. But where does it really go in terms of what you yourself are feeling? Come on, don't be afraid to say, yes, thank you for the likes, I appreciate it. You have to realize that emotions, we're emotional beings. But given our usual senses, where we're conditioned to stay, because it's comfy. We don't actually see a lot of things going around. Today I was looking at a gas station. I was just waiting for service, and then I noticed a strange thing. And I thought, of course, there were some people. It was the daytime. This is around noon, and then of course people had their lights on for some reason. I guess maybe because it was a little bit foggy. But then I started seeing like some kind of strange mist, strange foggy thing. But not really. I mean, I knew that it wasn't actually fog outside on the ground, but it felt like, gee, I could play around with these shapes fog-like shapes that I see, right? I could play around with it in my mind, you know. And then they don't encourage you to, have that flexibility. It's a gas station. It's the floor. It's the bottom. I mean, move it, move it, move it. But sometimes people are afraid to like look around and sense that you are not. There's other alone. Never alone. Wouldn't that be really weird if this space was streaming and steaming with all sorts of life forms? All sorts of life forms. And they were like, hey, 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 poking at you, but we, due to our limited vision, our preoccupied minds, we can't comprehend. We don't get the signals. And even when we get the signals, do we pay attention to the signals? Like, sometimes you get that eerie feeling to don't get on that plane. Don't go there today. Don't do this or do this. That's one of those extra dimensional experiences trying to go, hey, 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 you, hey, you, hey, you. I wouldn't do that. I could see that this point A, and point C will intersect together in a way that could be not very good for you. Not very good for you. So it's all these type of things that are going on in our relationships with our lovers, our friends, our friends. Our friends are kind of even more flexible or more puzzle-like than lovers. Because when you putting the physical touch in there and you're getting gratification and good feelings, that's putting more into the mix, more senses into the mix. Whereas a friend, platonic friend, male or female, same sex, multi-sex, whatever, you understand. A friend, somebody you care about, somebody who you listen to, you share your thoughts. When they all of a sudden start acting funny, maybe you don't, I mean, people, it's very, very hard for people to communicate these days. I mean, and of course, when you get all these signals, you get this pirates of the Caribbean becoming pirates of the universe, pirates of the countries. I mean, people are acting crazy. They're crazy. I mean, it's one thing that we all can agree on. People are bloody nuts, unstable. And then we can again go, it's because of the earth is in rebellion against us, in a sense, because we're too out of touch with the earth. And we allow too many things to go unnoticed, uncommented on. And that's the thing about friends. Like, I seen friends that all of a sudden they change, or they get more crazier and crazier and crazier, or they're just like, wow, you want to be friends with me? What do we have in common? What do we have in common? And the same thing with your lovers or lover, between lovers, put it that way. Even too with marriages. Marriage is a contract. It's a contract that you and I, or you two people are going to start a family, are going to be family. But that doesn't mean that you'll grow at the same time. It doesn't mean that you have the same values, because the more you spend with anyone, the more you find out more and more things. Maybe somebody could lead you to feel a certain way. It's not exactly whoa, right? You've all been in situations like that. Like, you go out, you get up in the morning, you wash, you get yourself looking great, and you go out the door, and then somebody could like be looking at you, maybe like in a way that you didn't ask for. And that's like, what do you want from me? What do you want? What are you going to do? All these questions. And then you could dismiss it as soon as the person is no longer in your visuals. your sight. But then again, that little pin, that little, pinch is still there on your psychic level. Hmm. Or maybe somebody you not picking up the signals right, like, this relationship is over, or this relationship is just beginning. So it's all these things, all these things, all these things. I mean, out there, do you have feelings about everything? It's hard to separate it. Like, do you think that the people that you are with, are going to be with you for the rest of this year? Can they handle the chaos that's coming? When your country, especially, is unraveling, can you imagine being in Lebanon, getting bombed every day? And then, like, what kind of, you really know who your friends are. Or maybe, so you could be thought, wow, you're really bad luck. You got bombed, your house got, all these type of things. Or even, maybe you don't feel well. And you have somebody say, oh, you have germs. I'm getting away from you. I mean, when there's always the person who goes, let me help you. Let me help you, the humanitarian. Does our society, like I'm in the US, does our society really lend itself to a helping hand without a grudge, without an attitude? I think not. But that doesn't mean that people do not go with the flow. They do not possess these callousness. There are people that are always kind because there's a higher force at work. There's a higher force. Now, even though you may find yourself in a situation that you can't explain, like, why is my friend acting this way? Why is my husband, my wife, my boyfriend, my girlfriend, why is my colleague, why is that? That's very strange. You have a conversation, person's asking you something, and you go, that's not the message I was sending out. Huh? That's not what I was asking. But yet that person is convinced, for some anal reason, I use the word lightly, anal, or something deeply woven in their psyche, deeply woven, like, stuck, stuck. Look at that light. Even the light, isn't fire amazing? A gift from one of the lower G gods, the fallen angels. Ooh. And then the red amber. It's almost like when you first meet somebody, you feel a spark, right? Then we go, what happened to that spark? It could be anything, any reason why I really like this job. But then you find out it's a lot of, not a lot of work, but it's a lot of other functions. Functions like bend the knee, or you do my work, or it's stuff like that. All these things. And then you have to wonder about, like, is, what should I do? What should I do? Hmm. What should I do? What is going on? Hello? Hello? How are you? Bendejo? Ho ho ho? Ha ha ha. Hmm. How are you today? Feeling good? Thank you. Yes. It's just like sometimes things just hit you in a hammer. You can't even show your emotions sometimes, but hey, we all have emotions, right? That's what makes us lovely. That's what makes us nice. Is having emotions. Bad emotions, good emotions. I mean, it shows that we're like trying to sort out. We're not like puppets. We're not puppets. We're not. However, sometimes we can get caught up in a routine, an action that gives us attention, right? gives us attention. And that's what we have to watch out for. Is it a good attention? If somebody's trying to get us fired up, somebody's trying to stick a firecracker under our feet or someplace other sensitive place. But these all the things that we have to think about. What do you want and where do you stand in your relationships? Can you wake up one day and you can go, gee, I really don't have any close friends. I don't have any friends. I've gone through these trips by myself, away from them. And what do I have in common? Or let's say you divorce someone, or legally or just mentally, a long time ago. And then you think about them, and let's say you meet them again, or you can have the opportunity to meet them again. And you think, gee, now what would I say? Maybe it's better I should just leave that buried, right? I should leave that buried. My life is different. I'm a different person. We change. We change. But not all of us change at the same time. Really. Why do some of us, that's probably why relationships change, I mean, they get warped, right? They get funky, moldy, or they just get, who are you? You sort of look at somebody and you go, who are you? When you really, not my sister, my brother, my friend, my lover, whomever, my mother, my father, who are you? Who are you? I mean, gee. And then you think of you when you have those close family ties too. You have those close family ties, you go, well, gee, if we weren't related, I would just put a little sparkle on my face, on my hands. If we weren't related, would we be friends? Would we even speak to each other? I'll have to go get spirits exercise on that one. Yeah, if you weren't related, if you weren't married, would you be friends 10 years down the line? And then some people think, I married too soon. I got married too soon. What did I know? And the person's nice, and it's your husband, it's your wife. But then again, you think, did I miss out? And then there's the people that marry somebody who's, been around with much more life experience, and they go, gee, is she missing or he's missing someone else? Oh, I mean, see, this is the whole thing that does society, does your upbringing, does your background, do you demand yourself to be generous, to be aware? Well, and another thing too is like on your own steam. On your own steam. I mean, if you take edibles, I mean, what? Candy, bread, cookies, ice cream, pot, I mean, mushrooms, I mean, booze cookies, booze candy. In Switzerland, they have booze candies. You can just eat a whole bunch of candy with chocolate and some liqueur or some hard liquor, and wee. I mean, and then there's countries like Iran, which, I mean, they don't drink. That's banned. They don't drink. They don't drink. And they also don't charge interest. They don't do usury at the banking, which is probably one of the reasons why we're going to battle with them. Not because the women can't show their hair, because the women wear whatever the hell they want to wear. I mean, really, frankly, wear what you wear what you want to wear, as long as it covers the essentials and it's appropriately in tasteful. But I mean, people, why do they, like, right now we're in a war situation. I mean, and we have these leaders that want to do this, what do you think, arms race, sell arms, sell killing machines, penis shaped, phallic shaped things. I was thinking the other day, check this out. I was thinking the other day that when you see all these missiles, like, like moon rockets, missiles, they're all looking phallic, right? But then again, when you see sci-fi movies, you have all these saucer things, these round things, right? Round things. They look like two different ways of looking at penetration and circular. It's like, an environment, and then I'm popping. It's kind of weird, isn't it? It's something you can be trained to do. Right? I'm going to, hmm, I'm either going to land you in a puddle of something, in an environment, or I'm going to shoot you full of holes. I'm going to pierce your body. It's weird. Very strange. Very, very strange. Very, very strange. Thank you for the likes. Well, basically, I'm here if you have a question, if you have anything on your mind about your life situation now, I'm here. We can do readings for you, about you, not me, not someone made up, but questions for you. And if you don't, well, I might be popping in and out. And, just to let you know that I'm here to see if you have a personal reading you would like to have done. A personal reading that's going to clear up something about your relationships. Is it true? Is it real? Is it good for me? Is it good? Am I going to profit working for somebody? Am I going to feel better about myself being loving someone, being friends with someone? Do I know the right people? Do these people make me look good? Right? You ask yourself all these questions. Do these people make me look good? Like friends, they go walk down, they go shopping together, they do things, they complement each other. But then again, when something happens, it becomes different. Different, 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 different. So you asked yourself, right? Hi, how are you? Thank you. Sprinky, Aka, Chaka. I'm saying your name all wrong. Hi, Chelly. How are you, darling? How are you feeling? How are you feeling about the people in your life? I think, that's good. Uh-huh. How are how is things? I mean, sometimes you just gotta question about, especially when there's so much crazy. There's so much crazy. I think there's so much crazy. That's how I am right now. There's just so much crazy going on that. Wait a minute. You know, some. I mean, and of course the newspapers that the big rags, the big dailies, they love to show you somebody's crazy over here, somebody's 10,000 miles crazy over there, things like that. And then they start like really just making you feel a certain way when you read the news or you hear the news. I mean, excuse me, it's very very it's very very yes, it's lonely. Yes, it's lonely. I mean, but you know what it is? I think when you start to, I think when you start to be aware of your surroundings, like look at the people. Listen, I mean, you don't have to look at the people in their eyes, but like how you can just, your ears, you listen to their conversation, you hear a buzz, and you isolate a few voices, and then you think about, gee, it's so obvious. And you hear things on the people on the train when they're talking. You hear people on the plane when they're talking. And then you hear the pilot sometimes cracking a lot of jokes, right? And then you just, why are all these people together for like maybe 30 minutes, 10 hours, a few hours, a few minutes? And we all touch base, our heart, dun, 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 dun. And then there's whole people that don't even give, they don't notice anything. I got to go to this meeting. I have that meeting. I have to go pick up this. I mean, they're like on a rush, 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 and I'm not paying attention. But we all pay attention on some level. All pay attention on some level. It's very strange. But now it seems that there's now it's just more crazier than I've ever seen things to be. I mean, this taking Earth's resources from someplace else and saying, hey, it's mine, I want it, I want it, I want it. You do what I say, bend the knee, bend the knee. I mean, it just doesn't, it's not really like Earth-like. And you wonder, who's directing this show? Who's doing all this? I mean, really, I'm not talking about the people in front of your face, your politicians. I'm talking about why. Right? It's like, when you join a company, you're working for somebody, and there's your supervisor, and then your boss, and then there's the investor or the guy who's pulling his string or her string. It's very, very strange. And then there's people that they're doing things and they don't have the slightest idea of what they're doing, but they know how to ride you. And in terms of friendship too, lovers too. I know how to get my meals done. I want my food cooked this way. I want my clothes looking this way. Or I want this jewelry. I want this. I want that. I mean, I want my furniture to look better. I want a dog. I want a cat. All sorts of things. All sorts of things that come into play. All sorts of things that come into play about things. So, this is what we're going to, from time to time, we're going to be exploring these things. We're going to be opening up. Because we're certainly thinking this way, feeling this way. I mean, sometimes you can be, the difference they always say of being alone and being lonely, right? Lonely and being alone. There's a difference. I mean, being lonely is a state of mind. Being alone is physical. You can have lots of people and be very lonely. And you could even look at leaders of heads of state, like take Trump, for instance, not to rag on him, but I mean, do you think he is alone or lonely or lacking? I mean, I think when we look at people say, you don't have this and you don't have this and you don't have that. I mean, who are you? Who are you? I mean, well, dum, 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 dum. And then as if you need a defining position. You need these outside forces to make you feel good. Now, you don't need anybody to make you feel good. Look in the mirror. You're alive. You're alive and you're breathing. You're smelling. You're looking. You're beautiful. God didn't make you ugly. God didn't make you lonely. The Creator did not do that. It's a society that tells you, hey, call you some slur name, or just some, hey, cockroach. You're under me. I mean, all this stuff. I mean, trips. And yeah, I mean, yes, Cher. I mean, why could somebody, I mean, we see people that have got billions of dollars, going on trillions of dollars, and yet they feel so empty. I mean, if you would think, God, if I had only a portion of so-and-so's money and other things, I would feel woohoo. But the more they have, the less they can handle themselves because they don't know how to open up to life's beauty other than just pulling strings and it's like somebody's walking by an aisle and you stick your foot out. I said, I'm going to make that person trip. I can have an effect by seeing that person fall down. People are like that, especially now. Cause and effect. When you see somebody like your leader going bananas, and our leader is bananas. bananas. Why would you want to kill people to pay attention, get them to pay attention to you? Why would you want to break things to get people to like pay attention to you? That's a sick. It's a sickness. It's a sickness. Can't you just go, give me your hand? I'll help you. Huh? Give me your hand. I mean, kind, fresh, human approach. Instead of like, bam, 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 bam. So we live in some ill times. And we have to keep it together. We can't. This person is bananas, nuts. I'm not going there. Yes, yes, it sounds crazy. And yes, it is crazy. And I will not accept that way of thinking. And we have to do more because we are one of the many, not the few who are like power hungry. Power, what is power? Power is freely given. And power is also taken by those who do not feel themselves, do not understand their wealth that they themselves have. They themselves, you have wealth. You have wealth. Look in the mirror, look beyond your meat suit, your skin, your container. Look in your heart and see that what kind of relationship do I have? Where am I going? What am I doing? Am I doing what I want to do in my life? Am I being controlled by something or someone who feels that they have me by the tchotchkes? The tchotchkes. Have me by the hair, have me by the balls, have me without me freely giving myself. Now, if you want to give yourself, that's something else. Sharing is good. Sharing is good. But if somebody is taking without your consent, they can be taking like a vampire. Vampires are real, by the way. We all know that from the Epstein files. Blood drinking, etc. Cannibalism, vampires. Why does the United States have so many vampire movies, right? The West. Because maybe it's the real deal. Sip. Bloodlust, the red stuff. It's creepy. It's very, very creepy. And all these things, even knowing, like, you know what, I'm starting right now. I'm starting to, like, when I see a scene or I see a commercial or I see something that's being offered to me, if I don't need it, consent to it, I block it. I don't look at it. I mean, I avert my gaze or I just get up or turn it off because I don't need to see random acts of situations that I wouldn't be in. And the same thing about you. We don't need it. We don't need it in our personal life, in our imaginary life. Because you know what the whole thing is? It's control. Control. I will tell you how to feel, how to be. When we start losing our ability to perceive things for ourselves, then we get emotionally all tied up. And there are people that like they can't help but like telling you how to be. Because that's how they define themselves. That's how they define themselves. And that's why Mystic Moons is here. I hear my cats going at it. I have a bunch of kitties. You know that. Mystic Moon loves pussycats. Loves animals. I love all. Of course, I don't know about spiders and snakes. But even bugs. If you look at a bug with a microscope, not a microscope, that's too big. You know, a magnifying glass. Look at a bug with a magnifying glass. Pick a colorful bug. And it's interesting how symmetrical they are, how appropriate they are. Appropriate bugs. And I don't really, care for bugs. But it's interesting to look at the visual patterns of things. It's like, just like we have 2 arms, 2 legs, things like that. Just they may have like 6 or 8, 4 legs, whatever. And they do things. They do things. They have a purpose. They're not sitting around like, they just do it. And of course, they're supposed to be an insectoid alien race. That's another thing too. Right now we're having World War III. It's been World War III for a while, but now they just don't want to hide it anymore. And now at the same time we have World War III, and we have corruption on so many government levels. But we also are having alien disclosure. Now the point is, when you see somebody all mired and crazy, like our leaders, are we going to believe that they actually can tell us what we all know? We all know that we're in this universe was not made just for us. This planet was not made just for us. They can't even tell us the truth about artifacts that are like hanging out, and architecture, different devices that are around. They call them out of place artifacts. How stupid is that? Out of place artifacts. And they just write it off. Write it off. You don't need to know. You don't need to know. You don't need to know. There's so much to find out about who and what we are. And so much is like eliminated. And that's kind of very hard for some of us. Raising your frequency level based on a bunch of, or cutting through the web of lies. So we have to cut each other some slack. We really have to. Because it's a lot to, if somebody has never been awakened, somebody who's never been touched by like, hey buddy, hey, listen to this. Look at it this way. Sometimes too, you can realize you have to stop, because some people will never become awake. They just can't. They're afraid. You have to leave well enough alone. Not all of us are meant to be on the same frequency level. We know that. And it's a little lonely when you are on a level and other people aren't there, right? It's lonely. But at the same time, if you look with your eyes, not what you're going to look with, you can feel that there's a lot of things going on in your field of vision. And don't be afraid to imagine what's going on. Go ahead, knock yourself out. You may just open up to a ripple in time, an opening in the time of the space. I mean, just like when the sun comes up and it moves through all those, 9 o'clock sun, 12 o'clock sun, 3 o'clock sun, things like that. It's the same sky in a way, but it's different. That's what opening up is about. And that's again with your relationships, with your lover, with your marriage partner, with your friends. Like they say, the sign of a happy person or intelligent person is having lots of friends. Who paid that person to write that? It's not the quantity, it's the quality. And if you can find no one to be with at this time, enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. And explore your levels, your innards, your scopes, your questions, your search. Well, again, if you want to become a member, we have become a moonwalker for $10 a month. We have lots of perks, lots of privileges, lots of nice things that happen. I'm here, Moon and Mystic Moons is here, and we're and Shaylee, if you're still here and you want me to pull a card for you, hey, I'm here for you. You know that. You know that. I'm here. So I'm going to step away a bit, but I'm here. So I'm going to leave this up for a little bit. And if you want anybody, you want to reach out, I'm here. Okay.